Hi everybody. So for the first 7.5 minutes of this video, I didn't do any kind of voiceover or talk while I was working. So I'm just going to be coloring in the first 10 books on my bookshelf and then writing down the books' ratings and finish dates in my book log. And then once I start updating what I read every day, I'll kind of start talking about the books and what I'm doing. So if you don't like this part, skip ahead. I'll have timestamps, but thanks for watching. the next day. I do not have a baby that is sleeping, but I had a baby who, he's not a baby, he's a toddler, that I could not come back to journaling last night and went to bed early. So I just cleaned a bunch of stuff and made brownies upstairs. We unfortunately have to go to the funeral home tonight and this weekend, so I'm hoping to get this reading journal done, this update, so I can edit the video and get some more up. So I just finished all of January in that last clip, and I'm gonna try and do February and March and whatever in April. Luckily I have my handy dandy reading log in my Hobonichi Weeks, and I remember what form these books were in. So let's get back into it with February 1st and Girl Dinner, which was a physical book. I might get interrupted here soon because I know my mom and dad are coming into town soon, but I don't know if they were doing anything else before they were coming here, so we'll see. Heated Rivalry was audio and Girl Dinner was physical, so we have a mixed day. Audio is my yellow. My first non-reading day in February. That's pretty sick. I think I've done really well, like even just reading a chapter this year before bed has definitely made a difference, but not finishing a ton of books. I mean, you've seen I've only finished 10, but it's slow, but it's progress, so. Okay, 5th and 6th are Heated Rivalry, which I finished on the 6th. And then this was a mixed day. I started a book called Orbital, but I wasn't focusing on it, and I didn't end up ever finishing it. And then I put down Girl Dinner and started Half His Age. The 9th through the 15th. The crisp red Tombow, and it's very pleasing to me right now. Okay. 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th are all mixed days. And then physical. Girl Dinner on the 1st was physical. And then we had a new read day. And then the 3rd through the 8th were all physical. I was on a spring break trip for work with some students, and I switched to my Kindle. I was reading an e-arc. I also had brought a physical book with me, and so looks like I read that on our travel days. And then didn't read on the 15th. Okay, I switched back to my arc and finished that, or I didn't finish it, but I was reading it the 16th through the 22nd. And then I finished that on the 25th, and I started reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is what I'm reading right now. So the 23rd through the 29th is all an ebook. I'm pretty sure the next 2 days were ebooks, but we'll see. Mixed day, and then so I started reading You Deserve to Know, which is an audiobook. I may have actually read both, but I only wrote down that I read You Deserve to Know. And then 2 mixed days, the first and the second. I read both of those. I usually listen to my audios in the car, so. And then I finished You Deserve to Know, and I actually found one of the physical books I am currently reading, found it on audio, which is All Fours. It was available through Libby, so I started that. I was at home, or I was going home to my parents, so I did that in the car, and then read on my Kindle and listened to that on the trip home. And then this week, let's see, what did I do? I'm gonna write in here. Yesterday I read my Dungeon Crawler. And I've already read this today, and I don't plan on listening to my book because I'll be in the car with Matt, so we can mark those. So the 6th through the 8th are mixed. And then ebook is orange. So we have 2 days, 9th and the 10th. Okay. So I love doing that in my weeks, just because it's helpful when I don't spend time in here. And just, I've done this in the past and not wrote it down and just kind of guessed. And so I like this. I started this last year, and I think it's been really nice. And I like knowing what I've been reading too. Also, this is my favorite week's layout and sticker theme that I've done this year. So far, this is inspired by Project Hail Mary, which I just saw last weekend. Oh, days I finished a book. Okay, that's on this little, so, but anyway, here's our tracker. This is one of my favorite spreads. I mark the days according to the color that I did at the top. So let's start in January. I finished The Book Witch on the 4th. And Wild Reverence on the 24th. And then Heated Rivalry on the 6th. And Half His Age on the 13th. Heart the Lover on the 18th. The Giver on the 26th. And Bunny on the 27th. February was a good month for me. A couple shorter books and audio helped. And then March, we had Girl Dinner on the 7th. I wanted to finish that because it was due at the library and I was going on my trip. And then How to Find Love in the Cereal Aisle on the 25th. And what day was that? You Deserve to Know was on April 3rd. So right now I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I'm about like 70% done with the first one. And then I'm still reading all fours. I've been doing audio, but once I finish Dungeon Crawler Carl, I'll probably switch to the physical of that. So hopefully I'll finish a couple more in April. So that's days I finished a book. Monthly readings. I have that, but I like kind of looking at this. So January I had, let's see, we gotta find a black marker. I'm just gonna use my Sharpie Creative marker or brush tip in black. Okay, so I do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then not rated. That's in, if I read a memoir or something or nonfiction, I'm not rating it. I just usually don't. Okay. So we had 0 5 stars, 4 4 stars. Oh my god, no, I had 2. Whoops. We'll fix that somehow. 0 0 0 0. Okay, 2 5 stars, 2 3 stars, and 1 2 star. And in March, I had 2 3 stars, we're not done with April, so I'm not going to fill that in. But we are going to fix this so that it doesn't look like I finished that many. I think I'm just going to tape down a square on top of it. That kind of pisses me off that I did that, but it's okay. Everything is fixable. Only you guys will know that, so. You guys don't tell anyone, right? Okay. Oh. Why do I have 2? Oh, because I have 2 pieces of paper here. Well, we have some if we ever mess up again. Okay, that wasn't the best measuring, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. We just don't want it to go over. Okay. I'm so hopped up on caffeine right now. I was like sweeping the whole entire first and second floor. I put away dishes and made brownies and then like cut them up and put them on a plate to take them to dinner later. And then I was picking up just like everything. Okay, what did we have? 2? Yes, 2 4 stars. This brush pen, these Sharpie Creative brush pens are super juicy if you're interested and haven't tried them yet. I'm gonna let that dry. I don't know if we ever came back. I don't think I finished. I have to rate on that one. I hate this. I didn't say it when I was making it, but I really hate it. It's fine. Sometimes I try to color them like the spine, like that one, or I write it like that. Oh, I never wrote that either, so we should come back to that page. But in particular, I did not like that one, so. Okay, easy fix, perfect. Okay, so we're all done with that. Statistics, you can watch me do math. So in January we read 2 books. I'm gonna pull out my calculator on my computer. No, this is easy. They were both 4 stars, so that's easy. But I don't want to make it sound like I can't add either, but instead of writing it all out and figuring that out. Because, like I said, I'm hopped up on caffeine, so that's making me a little unfocused right now. Okay, February we read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. 14.29. And our average rating was 3.6. And then for March, we had 2 books, both 3 stars, so 3.0. And for pages, we had 688. So small books in March. Okay. I think I'm just doing tally marks over here for my publication year tracker. So I'm just going to use, I kind of want to use a hard tip. I think this is a soft tip. I think I may have heard my parents. Okay, we're just going to go Book Witch is published this year. Wild Reverence was last year. Heated Rivalry was 2023. Half His Age was 2026. Heart the Lover was 2025. The Giver was 1993. Bunny was 2019. Girl Dinner 2025. How to Find Love in the Cereal Aisle is going to be published this year. And then You Deserve to Know was last year. So I usually do read more current titles, but I am trying to get a couple in like these 4 boxes. So I intentionally picked The Giver as something older. It was something I never read when I was younger. I think my mom told me I wasn't allowed to read it when I was in elementary school, or she told me to wait. I'm not really sure, but I meant to ask her about that. That's just what we're doing with that. 5 stars. I usually will print these out. I'm thinking about, I usually wait until the end of the year and then do it, but then it sometimes doesn't get done. I'm sorry if you saw I have brownie underneath my nail. I might, since I'm using my printer, my little Polaroid printer now, I might do that. I might print them earlier, just so that I can keep up with that. So far I already have Heated Rivalry and Heart the Lover that will go here. Best book by month, that's also something that I'm gonna have to do. Maybe I'll just fill out this page soon, do an update, but I won't fill these out. I won't fill this out until June, and then I won't fill this one out until the end of the year, because those are my like top 10 lists. Okay, my reading goal. I haven't decided how I'm gonna fill this in. I guess I was gonna color them, but it's a green page. I didn't really think that far ahead. Do I just choose a bunch of green markers? I could do washi tape, green washi tapes. I don't want it to look too like static. Not fill a page, yeah. Use some of these that I don't often use. That I like these. This was from a pack on Amazon. I think these are some of the first like washies when I decided I really liked washi that I started buying. And I just didn't like some of these ones. I want to go in like an order. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Thanks for coming along on that journey to figure out how we were going to do that. That's the first 10 books, and I think that's pretty cute. And it'll give me a chance to use, like, these are, you know, cheaper from a like large pack on Amazon. They're not the best quality. Like sometimes they will rip as you're trying to pull them off. But I've used this one quite a bit, and I've used this one, and I don't often use these. I don't like love this one either. So those have a bunch, so that'll be nice to use those. And then I do have, I mean, these have more on them, but I do like them. I love this lime green one. That was the whole reason I got these grid ones, was because of the lime green. And like these are the same pack, so you can see that I've used the green quite a bit. I covered the inside of one of my journals did a washi tape dashboard with that. But anyway, that'll be cool. I should put my cap on my cutter. Okay, and then I did my bingo. I didn't decide how I was gonna do this one either. I'm gonna color them in. I'm just gonna probably do green. So this is the green I've used in the journal. These are some of my favorite greens of the Tom, but not that one necessarily. It's a little too olive, but maybe not those two. Definitely that one. Maybe we do. Throw that one in that's staring me right in the eyes. We'll do those 4, I think. No, let's do a 5th because I like making sure that there's not a repeating color in the same line. Or do we use something darker? Okay, we're gonna do those 5. Okay, so what have I read? The book, which was a green cover. One-word title, Bunny. Let's do that. I'll use one book per thing. Maybe I'll write them down in the top or something. I've thought about making like a key or doing vellum over top of it with like the book. Haven't decided that yet, but I don't think any of these have been a book of the month. I'm just gonna mark that I used these for bingo. We'll do Heated Rivalry as the LGBTQ plus book. There. I guess I'll do half his age because it was 288. Library book was Girl Dinner. Okay, so I can't have that color. We'll do Heart the Lover for a 5-star. And How to Find Love in the Cereal Aisle was an ARC. I don't think anything had a yellow cover. Multiple point of views. I don't think so. Okay, so the ones I haven't used are Wild Reverence, The Giver, and You Deserve to Know. So I'm just trying to figure out, I don't know, like, if I don't do it for everything, like, I'll check it by the end. No. Wild Reverence technically was, so I could mark that off. It was 527, so. You Deserve to Know didn't make me cry. It was not an ebook. The Giver was not an ebook either. I think one of the characters had a dog in You Deserve to Know, but I'm not going to count it. They weren't published the year I was born. Neither have been on my TBR for 3+ years. Neither were recommended by friends, and neither are historical fiction. So that's where our book bingo is. This is my 26 books for 2026, so I set this at the beginning of the year. I'll do this at the end of the year. Basically what I do on this spread is just put hearts next to the books that I read. So, or not hearts, stars for their rating. So Heart the Lover was 5 stars. So I'm just gonna probably choose this side. And that might be hard over here, but we'll get it. We'll make it work. And then I read this one, which was 2 stars. I want to read, I think, this one next. So most of these are, if you haven't seen my other video, most of these are on my physical TBR. I owned both of these. I sold this one back. That one is, that one is, that one is, that one is. Yes, 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 yes. So we're going to prioritize those, but that's that. And then this alphabet one. So I just do the first book that I read. I've seen other people choose like their favorite out of those. But I just do it as it happens. So I'm just gonna use my Energel Clenna to write, and then I just color in the letter box and then write the name and the author. So first one we have is The Book Witch. And I'm just gonna write them and then I'll color them in at the end. Wild Reverence. Heated Rivalry. Half His Age, Heart the Lover, The Giver. And I don't do this to like ever intend to finish the alphabet. It's just another tracker. It's another way to use this. Bunny, like this book, this journal in general. Girl Dinner, How to Find Love in a Cereal Aisle, and You Deserve to Know. Okay, so we've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 letters. I read a lot of H books and B books this first quarter. Okay, so that's my updated book journal so far. I think I'm thinking about doing like recaps, monthly recaps, so I might do those as setup. I kind of have to plan them a little bit more, but just to use a little bit. It's a shorter journal for me this year, but I had a lot of fun with it, so I'd like to keep playing and just use some more scraps and stuff. So I'm just gonna do a quiet flip through so you can look at the pages now that, well, I'm gonna go back. Wait, we're gonna update this. Let's find that white pen that was working. I didn't rant about this yesterday because of my sound, but I hate these white pens. Just why don't they work better? Okay, I hate this. I think we're gonna cover it up because I just haphazardly was mad at it and just started going at it. So, ooh, that's sticky. Oh, there's glue on that side. I'm gonna slim it down just a little so you can see kind of the black outline around it. And then I think I'm just gonna color it the original color I had it, which was this that background purpley. I'll just do it. This highlight, this mild liner. Okay. Okay, that's fine. This is half his age, and I've bought like so many of these to get them to work, and I don't understand it. I tried, like, I had regular gel pens, and then somebody was like, no, the 10s are the best. And so then I got them, and then they were like, I had an artist, and she always used these Uniball Signos, and they didn't, they just don't work. It's just for me. It doesn't matter. It's not perfect. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. That's our bookshelf. So now I'm just going to go through, flip through, and you can see, and I'll stop talking, and you can see kind of what everything looks like. All right, thanks for coming along on my update. I'm excited that this is finally, you know, coming together. It has things in it. I didn't ignore it forever. And I'm definitely going to update these once I pull the book covers and get them printed and create the little quarter sheets. So maybe I'll do that soon. Thanks. See you next time, suckers.